Fighters learn the basics of all combat styles. They are adept with every weapon, shields and armor. Some concentrate on archery, some on fighting with 2 weapons, and some on augmenting their martial skills with magic. Fighters make for superior combatants on battlefields and dungeons alike, because they are really specialized at their fighting style. A common misconception is that every member of the City Watch, the village militia, or the Queen's Army is a fighter. Most of these troops are relatively untrained soldiers with only basic combat knowledge. Veteran soldiers, military officers, trained bodyguards, dedicated knights, and similar figures are fighters. Some fighters feel drawn to using their training to become adventurers. Dungeon delving, monster slaying, and other dangerous work common among adventurers is second nature to a fighter. Most commonly for a fighter's primary ability score, you're going to focus on strength or dexterity, depending on the types of weapon you're going to be using. For finesse weapons and bows, you will want to use dexterity, strength for the other weapons. If you want to use some magic, which one of the subclasses for the fighter allows you to learn some spells, it's good to spec also a bit into intelligence as a secondary. Another good secondary is constitution for some more survivability, given you'll be in the front line most of the time. As for proficiencies, light, medium and heavy armor, shield proficiency, simple and martial weapons proficiency, so basically you're proficient with everything. At the start of the game you can adopt a fighting style. This will give you a bonus to the style you prefer. You can choose between the following: archery, defense, dueling, great weapon fighting, protection, and 2-weapon fighting, which is dual wielding. At level 1 you also get a very useful self-heal ability called Second Wind. At level 2 you get Action Surge, which people who have watched my previous class overviews will know I always refer to this one in my multi-classing options, to make a 2-level dip into fighter for this ability specifically, which is just so useful and powerful to have the extra action once every short or long rest. On top of the fighter getting an extra action at level 5 and level 11, you can do just incredible amounts of damage based on the actions you have in one turn. At level 9 the fighter gets Indomitable. This adds some extra survivability to the fighter. Whenever you fail a saving throw, you can roll again, using the new result instead, once every long rest. At level 3, you can pick between 3 subclasses for the fighter: the Battle Master, the Champion, or the Eldritch Knight. First, the Battle Master. As a Battle Master, you can learn maneuvers from the start of level 3. You can pick 3 of them. These maneuvers are fueled by a superiority dice. We can learn additional maneuvers at 7th and 10th level. We have 4 superiority dice, which are d8s, and at fighter level 10, these dice become d10s. When activating a maneuver, you use a superiority die and is then expended. You can regain all of them on a short or a long rest. As for maneuvers, they do d8 damage on top of your base damage, plus a variety of effects based on what you pick. To name a couple: menacing attack, which has a chance of frightening an enemy; pushing attack, which pushes the enemy back; rally, which boosts the hit points of a friendly creature; riposte, when an enemy misses, this is then a reaction which you can attack them with the added bonus damage; trip attack, chance of knocking the enemy prone; disarming attack, chance of enemies dropping their weapon. Then next is the Champion. So champions get, at level 3 from the get-go, improved critical hit. That gives their weapon attack score a critical hit. At level 7, a bonus to strength, dexterity and constitution saving throws, as well as the ability to jump further. At level 10, they can pick another fighting style, which is pretty helpful for the champion, although a bit late. Lastly, the Eldritch Knight. This allows the warrior to learn some wizard spells and cantrips. You can learn up to level 2 spells, which are not the most powerful but still can be very useful and add some extra flair to the fighter. You also get weapon bond from the get-go, which turns you into Kratos basically, since you can throw your weapon and it automatically returns to you. At level 7 you can learn war magic, which means that after you cast a cantrip, you can make a weapon attack using a bonus action. At level 10 you get Eldritch Strike, so when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it has disadvantage on its next saving throw against the spell you cast before the end of your next turn. As for multiclassing, as I alluded to earlier, Action Search is one of the best class features in the game. Any character can make use of it, though some won't want to sacrifice 2 levels of multiclassing to get it. Player characters may choose to start as level 1 fighter because they gain the ability to use all armor and weapons, and they may receive more hit points than their true class will yield. Gaining a fighting style and second wind are also a nice added bonus to every class out there. So what is it like to play as a fighter? Playing as a fighter is pretty straightforward. Usually it means getting up close and personal with the enemy and doing weapon attacks. Although if you specialize in being an archer or as an eldritch knight, having some range is an option as well. The Battlemaster has some nice battlefield control option with disarming, frightening and knocking enemies back. Or the fighter also make pretty good tanks when specializing in protection or defense and carrying a shield. I personally enjoyed playing the fighter because you have so many options in one turn, especially at higher level. And oftentimes it was the fighter saving the day, killing the most fearsome foes. The fighter is certainly not a bad pick for a newer player to this type of game like Baldur's Gate 3, since it's not too complex and you can be in the fray, dealing great damage and able to take a fair beating before going down. Feel free to share your thoughts on the fighter down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe because it helps me a lot to grow my channel and there is no disadvantage to it. I also keep my content pretty spoiler free and I will certainly never reveal anything on the thumbnails and titles. Anyway, see you all in the next video. Bye.